but can you give us a high level real quick for the listeners that are, they're listening to our conversation and they're like, well, this is cool, but I have no idea what Arryved is. Why don't you give them the pitch real quick?
Well, at its very basic level, it is a mobile-based point of sale that enables anybody to be able to order from any server inside of an establishment, and to be able to move freely inside of the establishment. Think about it like an adult Disneyland for craft breweries.
Okay.
Where typically the model has always been, I have to engage with one server at one table, but that's not how craft works. Craft flexes. It might be 2 of you at the very beginning, and then you have 5 people join you, and then you're 2 people afterwards. How do you deal with that dynamic? How do you deal with the fact that your party is ever changing and that you started out on the patio and now you're in the tap room and now you're at the restaurant, now you're on the mezzanine, and everything moved with you and it's freely moving with you.
I see. Okay. So, and it's not for the consumer, right? It's just for the waiter or the waitress, the employees. Is that correct?
Well, where we started was the consumer-based product. We went to the point of sale because we were solving a chicken and egg problem, because 4 years ago, point of sale companies wouldn't open their APIs or talk to anybody. So we went, okay, fine, we'll build our point of sale. And now we're finally coming back to the consumer side. We're actually launching it ahead of CBC. We've got it out in the field at a couple of alpha sites, and we're getting back to the consumer experience. But what we really look at this our job is to create better connectivity between craft merchants and craft users.
I see.
And it's on all sorts of levels: loyalty, payment, social. Everything is on the table for us to look
at. So there weren't any other POS companies, all these giant old school, been around forever POS companies. Nobody had built anything like this for craft breweries?
Not for craft specifically.
Okay.
When we started, we were the only one. Everybody was trying to shoehorn their product into it. So we also got the benefit of being able to start from the ground up, so that we could track every fluid ounce. So we can tell a merchant how the pull of their tap handles are actually performing, what people are drinking, what they're buzzing about. All of the different pieces that go into it, because those don't really exist. Everybody else builds a platform just to handle order and payment, and they forget that you're actually the central hub to all of these establishments.
I love that. I mean, I'm guessing some of the guys at Foundry said, hey, can we expand this beyond beer? I mean, right? This could go everywhere, couldn't it?
It could. We're still staying very focused, because the fact that craft in itself is well over 10,000 establishments in the US. We're sitting at roughly about 450 of them. We would like to be able to get to 10% by the end of the year. So we still have a lot of room to grow. And that's not just here. Craft is becoming big business all around the world. So we have 2 choices to make. We could either decide that we're going to stay very hyper verticalized, or we can decide that we're going to expand out to other markets. Those are definitely things in year 4 that are on the table for us to consider as we grow up.
I know how those investor guys work. That one of their first questions was probably like, all right, well, how many craft breweries are there in the United States? Blah, 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 blah. They're doing all the math right away. The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.